Obamcare Act insurance rollout, and while White House officials are still trying to fix some of the computer glitches, millions in of the massive Affordable Care Act insurance rollout, and while White House officials are still trying to fix some of the computer glitches millions encountered, there's no doubt that the heavy traffic to the site shows that Americans have a healthy appetite for the controversial health care plan. Now, by the end of the day, the White House says that 2.8 million people visited healthcare.gov. The federal website is handling sign-ups for 36 states, and even in states running their own exchanges, people there also encounter problems when trying to apply. Surrounded by families who had enrolled for insurance coverage under the ACA, President Obama asked for patience in a statement yesterday afternoon, and he also made this argument to shoot back at critics who seized on the glitches.
Just a couple of weeks ago, Apple rolled out a new mobile operating system, and within days they found a glitch, so they fixed it. I don't remember anybody suggesting Apple should stop selling iPhones or iPads, or threatening to shut down the company if they didn't. That's not how we do things in America.
Joining me now from the White House is David Simas, White House Deputy Senior Advisor for Communications and Strategy. David, it's great to have you here, and obviously, sure, when something's new, there's going to be glitches. You got to live through it a little bit to figure out where those hurdles are. However, the RNC released a list of articles and other media reports on those glitches, and Republican lawmakers say this is evidence. This is the proof that the health care law is going to be a headache that America doesn't need. Take a listen.
The Obama administration should have acknowledged the ample warning signs of problems in the exchanges and heeded the many calls for delay.
As of this morning, healthcare exchanges are not up and running. They're not available for businesses, and they're not working well. And again, delay after delay after delay on the Obamacare exchanges.
Meanwhile, David, we have the Texas Governor Rick Perry calling the implementation of it felony and a criminal act. So how do you respond to the critics and Americans who may be leery of what this health care law means for them and open enrollment now?
So here's what I know so far. In the first 24 hours of the opening of the marketplaces, 4.7 million unique visitors to healthcare.gov, 133,000 phone calls, 104,000 web requests. One of the reasons why there's been such overwhelming and huge enthusiasm to shop and to see what's available is something that you didn't hear from Republicans in that clip, nor from Governor Perry. Because prior to yesterday, here's the reality of what people faced. 1 week or 2 weeks, a paper application, and then once you go through that entire process, 1 out of every 5 people who applied for coverage was denied coverage. If there's anything that can be considered close to criminal, is the fact that millions upon millions upon millions of Americans prior to yesterday, because they had a pre-existing condition, were denied coverage. As of yesterday, that's never going to happen again.
All right, so David, we know that thousands across the country, they were able to apply and get through and succeed on their first day. More than 2,900 in Kentucky, 1,100 in Illinois, nearly 170 in Connecticut. Explain to all of us, though, how close are the tech geniuses to resolving some of these issues? And do you feel that the technical delays are going to turn people off? Again, yesterday just being day one, people have until the end of the year, in January 1st, to where this all kicks in.
That's right. So it's important to, first of all, understand why there have been the issues that there have been. It has been a function of volume. For comparison, the 4.7 million unique visitors in a 24-hour period is 7 times as many as ever went to Medicare.gov, and Medicare is wildly popular, in any one single given day. And so what the team has been working on is ramping up the response, making sure that we're ready for these big influxes of folks so that the process will get easier. Here's what we know already. Wait times on the phone are better. The initial piece of creating an account is improving. And bottom line is, tomorrow is going to be better. The day after is going to be better. And there's still an additional 180 days for folks to apply. And so this is day 2 of a 6-month process. And to your question about whether or not people will come back, yeah, they're going to come back. And the reason they're going to come back is because for many folks, They have been denied for years and have been waiting for this opportunity to finally get some coverage that gives them peace of mind. And that's why they're coming.
Well, let's talk about peace of mind, because right now we've got the American economy and the budget being basically held hostage because the rollout continues even as the government remains shut down, and the two are intertwined, with House Speaker John Boehner saying in an op-ed today that the shutdown and the president and Senate Democrats are refusing to negotiate over all of this. So explain why the president refuses to get with congressional leaders in a room and hash this thing out.
So the president has always said that he is willing to talk to anyone at any time about ways to grow the economy and make sure that we're moving forward. But Congress has two jobs, two very simple jobs. Number one is to pass a budget. Number two is to make sure that the bills are passed on time. And what has happened is that a small minority in the House of Representatives has decided, rather than to sit down and make sure that it does its job, is essentially to hold the government hostage. And so, look, there right now is a majority in the House of Representatives that is prepared to pass a clean continuing resolution to reopen the government, and they should do that immediately.
David Simas, White House Deputy Senior Advisor for Communications and Strategy. David, great to have you on today. Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot for having me on.